What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to look at some of the most insane Mortal Kombat endings in the game's history. Over the past 30 years, we've seen well over 70 playable characters in the Mortal Kombat series, from icons such as Scorpion to obscure characters such as Chameleon. Although every character has their own unique place in the universe, yes, including Suhao and Cobra, their stories pan out differently. As many of you may know, a few timelines are kicking around in the Mortal Kombat series, but every character has their own individual ending in many of the games, which usually either results in them being the ruler of the realms or stuck in a desert. Before we get to the video, if you enjoy this content, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and ring the notification bell if you're into that sort of thing. But no pressure.
Welcome!
Not all endings are created equal, so let's get to the most insane endings in the Mortal Kombat series.
1 day later.
We begin in the first Mortal Kombat game with Raiden's non-canonical ending. And basically what I'll do is I'll read through the ending, I'll give you my reaction to it, and I'll give it a rating at the end. Raiden's victory comes as no surprise to him. He was never impressed by Shang Tsung's inferior sorcery, Goro's brute force, or the challenge of other contestants. He quickly becomes bored with his mortal competition and soon invites other gods to participate in the contest. The ensuing battle rages on for years, and the war results in our world's final destruction. Have a nice day. This one was easily one of my favorites based on the ones that I read, because this would never happen based on what we know about Raiden nowadays, unless he for some reason became Dark Raiden after winning the first tournament. But even so, I'm just picturing him inviting Zeus, Kratos, Ares, all these gods from different universes, and just throwing down in this massive battle that ends in the destruction of Earth. Also, having it end with "Have a nice day" is something that you'll see in the next ending we're going to discuss, but overall, if I were to give this a rating, I'd give it 10 torpedoes out of 10. Next, we have Shang Tsung's MK2 ending, which is about as crazy as the last one. Shang Tsung not only turns against and defeats both Kintaro and Shao Kahn, he also takes over their rule of the Outworld. With Shao Kahn's armies in his command, he finally unbalances the Furies and weakens the dimensional gates between the Outworld and the Earth Realm. Along with his elite group of sorcerers, he uses this weakness to march a never-ending horde of demons into the Earth and doom its inhabitants to eternal darkness. Have a nice day. Unlike Raiden's ending in the previous game, I could actually see Shang Tsung handling a Mortal Kombat tournament win like this. Anything he does is in service of himself, so coming up with a group of sorcerers to take over the world with hordes of demons is pretty much what you'd expect. This is a pretty dark ending when you really think about it, but I also think it's funny at the same time just because of what we know about Shang Tsung as a character and how he's developed throughout the series. Shang Tsung is definitely crazy enough to betray Shao Kahn and take control of the realms, and perhaps even Quan Chi would be involved. Also, the inclusion of "Have a nice day" is a nice callback to the first game, so if I were to give this a rating, it's going to get 10 flaming skulls out of 10. We're sticking with MK2 for this next one, and we're going to look at the ending for everyone's favorite half-Edenian, half-Tarkatan, Mileena. Once thought to be Kitana's twin sister, Mileena is actually a grotesque clone created by Shang Tsung. With Shao Kahn suspicious of Kitana's motives, Mileena seizes the opportunity to attack Kahn and his minions. Caught off guard, they were no match for Mileena's speed. She wins the tournament, and together with her secret companion, Baraka, they rule the world as king and queen. I mean, is it possible to make this one canon? Because I'm okay with that. Mileena taking down Shao Kahn and ruling the world with Baraka is just an incredible ending, especially because Baraka always gets the short end of the stick. Yeah, I guess you could make the argument that the Tarkatan population would drastically increase with this ending, but that's such a small price to pay for Mileena and Baraka's happiness, right? Overall, I'm giving Mileena's MK2 ending 10 Psy Blasts out of 10. What was that? Oh, you asked what's better than one happy ending for Baraka? Well, why not two? This is Baraka's MK2 ending. Known for his unpredictable actions and wild fits of rage, Baraka goes on a rampage. After defeating the Earth Warriors, he attacks Shang Tsung, Kintaro, and finally Shao Kahn himself. After defeating Shao Kahn, Baraka's race of mutants arise from the wastelands and rebel against what is left of Kahn's army. They eventually win, and the Outworld comes under the rule of King Baraka. I mean, can we just get a round of applause for that one real quick? I could not have scripted out a better ending for Baraka myself, and this is exactly why I always say this is my headcanon ending, because he takes down Shang Tsung, he takes down Kintaro, and then he wipes out Shao Kahn before becoming King Baraka. I mean, I don't know exactly what that world would look like, but I'm perfectly fine with it. Whether he's been a villain or a hero, Baraka has always been a footnote in the Mortal Kombat series. Although his MK1 ending was a solid improvement, King Baraka is an insane concept that I'd like to see explored in a future title. King Baraka gets a well-deserved 11 chop chops out of 11. Like Baraka, Reptile is another character in the Mortal Kombat series that never gets the recognition he deserves from a story perspective. However, Mortal Kombat 2 provided a look at an alternate universe where Reptile not only wins the tournament, but saves his species and finally gets a happy ending. Reptile has always loyally served as Shang Tsung's protector. While maintaining a very low profile in the first tournament, he discovered Tsung's plot to force the remaining members of his near-extinct race into slavery under Shao Kahn's rule. Reptile then devises a plan of his own. He enters the Outworld tournament, defeats Shao Kahn, and turns against Shang Tsung, ending his master's scheme. Now his race can live on in their own peaceful existence. This falls into the same bucket as the King Baraka ending in my opinion, because Reptile is just as cool of a character, and he never gets what he deserves in the series. The very idea that Reptile could take down Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn just feels so distant with the way that the character has progressed throughout the entire series, and it's kind of sad to be honest. I know that the most recent game redeemed Reptile nicely and made him more sympathetic, but this MK2 ending is near perfect, but at the same time it's also insane to think that this could even be a possible timeline. I understand that not every character can be significant in the story, especially with how many characters there are in the MK universe, but Reptile has been done dirty so many different times that he deserves something positive, and I think this MK2 ending is that. I'm giving Reptile's MK2 ending 10 acid pukes out of 10. The Mortal Kombat endings are something I've wanted to cover for a while, and we are just scratching the surface with this video. There are so many endings in UMK3, Trilogy, MK4, and beyond that would be fun to discuss. If you'd like to see more, like this video. Also, subscribe to my channel and let me know your favorite endings in the comments below if you're into that sort of thing.